Okay, we're here again, and we continue. Now, this head, we will call it, this is phase 2, but let's rename it a little bit. So, let's rename it anime head. And why it does look a little bit like anime head? It's not completely anime head, as you probably can see, but it's a little bit, because of the long nose, the nose is a little bit longer than it should be. And what else? The thin upper lip and this kind of a very wide mouth probably, and the big chin. Yeah, it could be more anime. Yeah, anybody can say that, but for now, I think it's pretty cool. So now we will do Asaro head. So this Asaro head example is from William Nguyen. This guy is a pretty good character artist, and he has done Asaro head female and Asaro head male, and you can, in ArtStation, if you go to his page, you can rotate them, and you can even rotate the lights. I mean, the lights are rotating in the animation. You can stop the animation at a certain point, and you can see it from different shading, and it's pretty cool in my opinion. So, yeah. We can also look at this Asaro head, although the Asaro head itself is usually one side is a little bit more detailed than the other side, but we will do just this because I like this. So, let's see. Sphere. Good. Then, start. Move it down, the chin. Make sure it's kind of a flat on the sides, like always. And then, we should make the side of the head, the top, a little bit like this. So the back side here is more up, and then it's going gradually down. If you always do that, it will be your best choice. For example, let's see this. Of course, this is a little bit of an extreme example because she has tilted her head forward, so it's normally that this part is very visible. But even when your head is completely forward, what is this that is visible here? It's around the ear line. Around the ear line is the top visible part of your head. So around where the ears are, here, something like this. And then the head is going down and back. Yes. So yeah, those things. From just one head exercise, you will not be able to kind of get all those details and all those wise thoughts about heads. But this is a very good image of female head. I mean, one of the best I've seen on the profile. And again, it's not complete profile because we are seeing her other eyebrow. The central line of her face is going here. And there is a little bit of the other side we see. So that's why her ear looks so much back. That's why it's a little bit not the best image, but one of the best. Yeah, they are definitely difficult to find, profile views, complete profile views of a human, especially a female. And the male also is kind of difficult, but yeah, we'll see. Now, what can we do about this Asaro head? We have to do it, basically. And first, let's make the traps. Let's make the neck. Let's take, by the way, I have it open here. I think I have it somewhere. Or, yes. So, I will open it because I haven't had open. And I will rotate. What I'm doing here is, you see, this. And I will rotate to see it from the side view. And I will make a shot from the side view. Let's see like this. Come on, I want to pause. Okay. This maybe a little bit. I'm moving the timeline. And this, I'm not sure this is completely male head, but let's say it's a male head. And let's zoom in out. Zoom in a little bit. And let's make it more profile. And I think the nose is a little bit too big, but it's fine. I will just print screen this. Print screen. And then paste it over this one. Because in this print screen we have also this one. But it's not quite, Okay, I will move it like this. And we'll have it both. Have them both like this. It's so interesting. No, it's not gonna work this way. I will just put it here. So we'll have the side view, we'll have the front view. Let me think a little bit. Can I have it better? Yes. Delete this. And then show this one big. I want it big. And then show this one closer, like this. And then I will squeeze it. Oh, I squeeze it too much. It's not good. No, we cannot squeeze it that much. Probably I will move this here. And then print screen this one and put it here. Now we have both in one place, which is great. Now this one I will, yeah. So this is on the ArtStation page of this guy that I told you about. So we continue with that. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, I know. This is how I do my references. I mean, most of the time I print screen and I put it. If the image, if it's a video from YouTube, for example, print screen works amazingly. You can print screen videos, even, I mean, your favorite actor in the interview or whatever. Make some print screens, make a nice PureRef file, and just use it. It will be for the best. Yeah, you will see. Now, this is the ear, of course. Where do we put the ear is questionable. In the beginning, it doesn't matter that much. We'll put it somewhere, and then, for example, I move it up. I can move it down with a big move brush from afar. And I told you how I make my brush big or small is just I zoom out and my brush is big. Zoom in and my brush is small. Now this is the fastest way I can make my brush small or big compared to the object. Now I will push this area above the chin here, which we see it's pushed, and then we will have the mouth, but first I will just make sure we have this kind of a flat area, which is here and here. On both sides, of course. And here I will make this line that I told you that connects the cheekbone with the chewing muscle. So let's analyze a little bit Asaro's head. So you see, this is the jawline, of course. This is this triangle here in the bottom, the dark one. And this is the jaw, not the jaw, the cheek line, the kind of a most prominent part of the cheek. And then you have this line in here, which usually it will go a little bit here because the chewing muscle have this kind of a, you know, shape in here. And usually it will not go to the edge of the jaw in here. It will go a little bit forward to the edge because of the chewing muscle. So we will make it a little bit closer to the front part, not so much to the corner of the jaw there, because it's not right. In my opinion, at least, it's not right. So we will do it as we think it's right. Yeah, sometimes I am relying on my knowledge, on the logic, on my instincts maybe. No, there are no instincts in play here. Everything is logic and knowledge. Since I have pretty good knowledge of the face anatomy, I know what is where, or at least I think I know, and that's the main part. You have to think for yourself, not to rely on the knowledge of other people that much. You have to think, you have to, you know, research, all that stuff. Don't rely on knowledge of other people because, you know, it's could be lying. So sternocleidomastoid, the traps, they're in the back, sternocleidomastoid in the front. Make it a little bit more flat like this, because as we know, it kind of goes from the top and then it goes in here, but also part of it goes a little bit out. That's why it's like this. Asaro head doesn't look like Asaro head yet. Hopefully at some point it will. I will look at this. So here the forehead is going a little bit too much up. I don't approve that because you see, When we look at this, and again I will say this is from another artist, so it's not 100% true, it's not 100% right. So it's his representation. So when the head is forward, we see from the front, we see this part here, and also the ears here. I don't know if I catch it not so much from the side view, but the ears are too much back in my opinion, because the middle of the head from the forehead to the back, the middle point is around here, and the ears are too much back. I think they should be starting around this area here. Yes. And the jaw also, and this line should be a little bit forward. So this plane here is not so big as he's made it. And also the forehead will go a little bit up, and then it will go gradually back, and around here above the ear will be the most the biggest point or the highest point, and then it will go back. But it doesn't matter that much. Those are just details. What matters is that it looks good. Those planes are kind of good. They're on the right position, kind of. So we can use them to make a nice exercise. That's why I'm doing it. Almost no head that any artist has made is perfect. Mine are not so perfect at all. Also, I'm making mistakes in some other areas. Some people are making mistakes in other areas, but there are very low amount of people, kind of experienced artists that have made so many heads from scratch as I. Because most of the time when you're an experienced artist, when you're doing freelances and stuff like this, you are doing heads from base meshes. So you have a base mesh, it's relatively fine, all the forms are established, you just change the face features and a little bit of other things. But you don't make it from scratch, and when you don't make it from scratch, you lose the overall knowledge of the skull and the face, where it is compared to the other parts of the head and stuff like this. You kinda lose this knowledge. And I have this knowledge pretty much a lot because I always start from scratch. Even when I'm doing freelance, since this is my best experience is to start from scratch, I always start from scratch. Yeah, I cannot afford myself to start from a base mesh or something, because I will lose one of the best things in sculpting for me. Making something from a sphere. Now I'm doing the nose. I will push it a little bit forward. We may push this part, the nose overall, and with the cheekbone a little bit forward, although it's not completely necessary and we can take it back at some point. We'll see. Now I will cut here, smooth around the mouth area to make the muzzle of the mouth. We cannot make everything here because we don't have the topology, but we'll do whatever we can. So here what we have, it's very interesting, by the way, because the eyebrows are going down like the skull, of course, as we know, the eyebrow ridge. But here this is pretty huge, which is, I'm not sure it's true. I mean, this is a little bit too much. It shouldn't be. I mean, let's see the skull. Let's see a representation of our skull. It's not that huge, but yeah, we can make it. It's not a problem. We can make it a little bit like this, kind of huge, but then we can dial it down. But before we do so, we can increase this part of the nose, but the whole thing, and decrease the top part. The top part should be kind of narrow. The bottom part should be wide with the nostrils and everything. And as always, the bottom of the nose, this kind of a base of the nose, should be a curved line, and the nostrils should be on the side. And from the side view, it will look like this, not like this. Don't make it a straight line here. It's not. It's never a straight line. Even in his representation, the nostrils are not going too much in, although this could be the case. But most of the time the nostrils are a little bit more in. the face. But that's debatable since there are variations, a lot of variations we can have. So if it's a male head, I will push the forehead backwards. And then I will add this kind of a dig above the eyebrows. And in the front too. But then I will add more geometry. A lot more. And then I will symmetrize because it's not symmetrical. As always in Blender, those are the problems with Blender, that when we start from a sphere, although the sphere is pretty symmetrical, at some point our model is not as symmetrical unless we symmetrize it. And I symmetrize it, of course. And many people will ask, but where do you symmetrize it from? How do you get this menu of symmetrizing? It's from here. Symmetrize. You see? Just press it and it will make it symmetrical. Okay. Now, here, let's make those. Let's make this. Although I'm not sure. These are the. Yeah. Okay. I think it's fine. It's fine. By the way, this is not the real and original Asaro head, which is the original, because Asaro is a guy who has made the planes of the head back in the days. It's kind of old. I'm not sure how old it is, but probably it's tens of years of old. I'm not sure. And there are a lot of people who are make it like 3D or whatever. And this is one of the guys. And I think this representation looks pretty awesome, pretty good. That's why I'm doing this one. Although it has mistakes, but if you notice his other projects, he is not perfect. We are not perfect, none of us, but he's pretty good, so it's fine. We can do it. Now I'm doing the face, the nose. Let's make the cut here, make it flat. Let's make those flat too. I'm just pinching them with the pinch brush, and they're kind of becoming flat. Flat here, flat here. Let's make this real Asaro head, or at least, yeah, we'll see. Let's make the bumps for the eyes. Looks pretty Asaro to me. Then you see how we can push this whole area in, which is great. The ears, we will not make them so much backwards as he did, because we know that that's not the case, and we don't need to make a mistake in this one. The ears should be starting from the middle of the skull, relatively, and most of the case. I think it's not probably always the case, because skulls, like faces, are different. They're not all the same. If they were all the same, probably we will look pretty identical. We don't. We don't look identical at all. That's why there are variations, and you have to consider that. Now, this part of the nose a little bit wider. The middle part of the nose a little bit wider. The other parts of the nose are a little bit narrower. Okay, something like this. It seems like it's like this. So, straight line to here, which is kind of a wide, then narrower and up to here, and then wider in this area, and then narrower here. It's like wide, narrow, wide, narrow, wide. But this is the place that the skull is ending and the cartilage begin afterwards. That's why it's a little bit wider, you know. I don't know exactly why it's wider, but I know that there is the cartilage there, so it's starting. So probably the cartilage and the bone together are making it wider. Maybe, I don't know. But we don't have to know those things that much. We just have to know that in this place the nose is a little bit wider. The bridge of the nose is wider there. We'll add more meat in here. This. And upper lips, upper eyelids. Again, I made mistake. Lips. They're eyelids. I'm digging here. Let me try. I haven't made the planes of the top of the head that much. That's why it doesn't look so Asaro. Asaro head is always kind of a planar head. So I'm just flattening those areas, and now it's more Asaro. It's not the super Asaro, but it's more Asaro. We may say, okay. And what I like here a lot is that from the top of the ear, not exactly the top of the ear, but the top of the base of the ear, let's say that this is the base of the ear here, where the base is attaching, and this is the top of the ear. The top of the base of the ear is here, and from there to the eyelid, almost to the eye, we have this kind of line, and then we have this kind of plane which is pointing upward. And that's very, very good. And that's very important to remember to put on your models. Afterwards, we'll get the corner of the cheekbone, which would be around this area, probably, maybe a little bit forward than this, maybe here. Yeah, let's place it here, we'll see. And then from it, down, we'll place this line. But it will not be as backwards as he has made it. I will put it just here, because I know that here we have the chewing muscle and other, but maybe he's right, because the chewing muscle is kind of protruding here, and it's making this kind of a bump. But this bump, maybe the most upper part of this bump is in the middle of the bump. That's why he's placing this, because from this point, it's going mostly backward and in. Let me draw it a little bit. So from this point, it's going mostly backward and in, like this. Overall, this area. From this point forward, it's going like this. So it could be right, this line. But it depends. Let's put it there. Maybe a little bit forward. I will not put it exactly to the corner of the jaw. I will put it a little bit forward, and that's how I roll. And here it's very important to have some lines also from the jaw, not from the jaw, from the cheekbone to the mouth. And here we have to cut some, probably, some areas. Let's see, so cutting here is important, because we have this muzzle of the mouth, which always have a cutting here, and then we smooth it, because we know that if we leave it very much vulnerable, it will look like an old person, which we don't want. Now, the mouth will be here, so probably those lines will go a little bit more in. Yes. Those lines that are coming from the cheekbone down. And then I smooth the rest a little bit, and then I can make a bit of a line which is connecting the inner corner of the mouth down, because overall this plus this plus this plus this is making the overall eye socket of the skull. So afterwards, this line represents mostly the muscles that are connecting the jaw, not the jaw, the muscles that are connecting the cheekbone and the mouth, these muscles here that are coming this way. This line is representing those muscles. Each line represents some forms, either muscles, either bones, or even sometimes fat, because the human face is, it's not consistent. It's not only made of muscles and bones as some people are presenting it. It's made of fat also. And there are a lot of places where we have fat, especially these days when we have very high calorie foods with a lot of sugar. Most of us are having a lot of fat on our faces. More than before. Yeah. If you go to any city, let's say 50 years ago. 50 years ago, there were not so many fat people. Most of the people were thin. Most of the people had this Asaro head things like a little bit like this, and here a little bit bigger points about around the mouth, stuff like this. Now it's not like this. Okay, let's make the upper lip. First, the distance between the lips. This. Push it. And then make the upper lip. And then we have to decide what to make big. Because now you see that the distance between the nose and the chin is not that big. And we have to probably decrease our nose size. Which is okay. And increase this. Okay. Now, I will also shrink a little bit the jaw, because it was too huge. We don't like that huge of a jaw to have. Especially if we're not doing Superman or Batman or whatever superhero it is. I love them all. I'm a superhero fan. I don't know, they are muscular, they have these nice poses. On the comics, they are very well drawn from some very good artists, so what is not to love about them, you know? Yeah. So, the ear, I will make it like this, and then here I will dig, and yeah, we will flatten this area, and the ear is kind of done, I think. No, we have to push this in. Of course, we don't have enough geometry here. We have to remesh again at some point. But I'm not sure how he made the ear. Huh. So I don't think this is correct. Although, maybe on the Asaro head is correct. But, you know, Asaro head is very famous. This doesn't mean that everything in the Asaro head is correct. Even in the original Asaro head. It could be correct for some people. It could be a little bit not correct for some. And some things are, frankly, not super correct for anybody. Because you see, we can make this, yeah, sharp corners in here. It will be interesting. And flat area here, flat here. Yeah, it seems almost like a Asaro head now. Although, the top part of the head is too big for a Asaro head, so I will just shrink it down. Because in the Asaro head, the top part is famously very, very small. It's even too small, in my opinion at least. So the face part is too big, and the overall top part of the head is too small. That's why I don't completely believe in the Asaro head, although it's a very good exercise to make. That's why we are making it, because every exercise is good to make. There are no bad exercises, but you have to not believe everything you see. You have to believe only the things you see on the pictures, and even in the pictures, don't believe everything. As I told you, even on pictures, this is a picture, this is probably not photoshopped or anything, at least not the overall shape of the head, and you see where the ear is, a lot back than it should be. Why? Because it's not profile, it's kind of tilted forward a little bit. It's not complete profile, it's a little bit tilted, and now the ear goes back. If it's more tilted, the ears go much back. And if you think that this is complete profile and you think, oh, okay, so the ear is very much almost to the end of the head in the back. Yeah, you will be wrong. That's why sometimes even perceptions from real photographs can be deceiving. Let's see if this is a profile. This is kind of real profile. We don't see any of the other parts of his head. We don't see his other eyebrow. We don't see anything. That's why we can say if his skull is coming up to this point, middle of the skull is around here, and the ear is starting from, you know, this is not complete profile. He's tilted a little bit towards us. It's, you know, this is not a complete profile, as I said already. This is, we see a little bit of his other eyebrow, so it's not a complete profile, but it's relatively profilish. It's not ultra not profile. So, yeah. So we have to be careful about those things. But let's continue with our Asaro head here. Amazing Asaro head. Asaro head is one of the most famous planes of the head exercise, we may say, or thing that somebody made. which, as I said, I'm not sure because, yeah, this guy who made this, he has looked at Azaro's head and he had tried to replicate the features. But since he's just a human, he probably couldn't replicate everything completely correct from the Azaro head. Also, Azaro head is made also by a human. So he had made whatever he thought is, even if I make a planes of the head, it will have some mistakes most likely, which I think are correct, but some other, artists will say, the ear shape is not quite like this always, it maybe is more like this, and this kind of stuff. So I will make the ears a little bit bigger, because they have to start from the nose. I will make the chin a bit smaller and, flatten it, because we need more flat planes. Maybe the mouth itself has to be bigger, but yeah, I will make it bigger and wider. And then we'll need more geometry, so let's do this. Now smooth. And we are having something. Now, for the mouth itself, I kinda made the lips a little bit more protruding than I should, so I will flatten this upper lip with a flat brush, which is high polish brush or something. Then I smooth, and then I will push the inner portion of the mouth in, this between the lips, and then here, let's see, I cannot see exactly what's happening here on the Azaro head, but let's do this. That's kind of okay. For the lips, yeah, I think what he did is very nice, because you see how it is. So it's like this. There is a line in here, and there is kind of line in here. Of course, what I will add is just a line in the middle. The bottom lip, I don't like it to be flat. It's never flat. So this shape, for me at least, should be considered of two planes. One plane like this and one up plane like this. For me, this is better representation of the lower lip than just one planar form. Of course, if you want to simplify it a lot, then it could be one planar form. But remember, you are simplifying a lot also the upper lip, and the upper lip could be a planar form. It's not a problem for the upper lip, because it's more planar. It's not always planar, and it's kind of curvy like this, but we can make it planar. It's not a big issue. But for the lower, it's an issue, in my opinion, to make it planar. Some things, like the nose, you have a lot of detail on, and you cannot put a little bit of detail on the lower lip. I mean, the level of detail of the whole sculpture, of the whole planes of the head exercise, should be relatively the same. But in this case, we have more detail on the nose than on the lips, which I don't completely approve, so yeah. Okay, these are planes in here, which we have to try to achieve. Plane. Okay, and here, let's see the nose, how it is. So we have this position, we have this, and then we have this. All right. I think it's going relatively well. We have to fix the eyes, we have to sharpen some areas, smooth others, and we will be golden at some point. We have a little bit more time to do. Azaro head, it's a good exercise. Probably it will take you a few tries until you get it kind of right, or more time, because you see, I will tell you, I'm pretty fast. Don't try to replicate the speed that I'm working with. Try to replicate the quality. Even if you do it for 4 times, 5 times, or 10 times slower, it will be worth it to try to replicate the quality. My quality for the speed that I'm working is relatively cool. I like it, people are liking it, so yeah. Here we'll make this plane, So you see this side plane, and it's connecting with the bottom plane in here, which is very cool. That's one of the things I like a lot about this. And yeah, of course, here it's usually not that but in the real head, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's looking cool and we can make it. Also, Asaro head or planes of the head exercises could help you a lot with stylized heads also. So make sure you know that. Now, we see that in this line is not exactly straight. So we have kind of a curve in here. And I will try to replicate that. So I'm making this curve. I'm making it like this. Like this. And then here, and then this will continue down. A little bit like this. Let's try at least to do this. So this, and then this. And we'll see if it will work. Here I'm not sure. Probably it should do like this. It's not exactly clear what's happening here, but yeah, the lower eyelid, it should be not so thick and big as I did it. So you see, mine is very, very long. So how to fix it? Probably I should add more geometry or more meat in the bottom here, so it became thinner. Yes, this I think is the best way, because it was very, very thick. Now it's thinner, it's good. We like it. Okay. Yeah, I'm fighting with this just to make the forms. And even if I'm fighting, imagine that you will probably be fighting a lot. So don't expect this to be easy, but just try to do it once, twice, three times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times. It doesn't matter how much. You should do it a lot to get good at it. I mean, there is no way you can just do one head and then you are expert on the heads. That just doesn't work this way. There are no people like this. Even very talented people like Gabriel Guerra, that I made interview with him on my channel, Speech Our Life. You can see it. It's very inspiring. He said that he had a pretty long journey. I mean, his journey was long, not years and years, couple of months, but every day 10 hours. Every day 10 hours. 10 hours every day. That's why his journey is not years, but months. But most people cannot spend that much time. So their journey will be a little bit better, a little bit longer, most likely. So this head, in most parts, I don't completely consider it super malish, because it doesn't have the huge eyebrow lines and stuff, but overall it's kinda malish, we may say. The eyebrow here, it's not very pronounced. So it could be femalish, although what saves the head to be more male is that it's angular. All the angles are making the head look more male. If I smooth this head a little bit, and I make the neck a bit thinner, it will turn it absolutely fast into a female head. Because we don't have many male head, things. Like I told you, the eyebrow lines and some other features of a male head. I love this here. How it's kind of very subtle, but it's very nice. This kind of upper line in this area. And from the top view, I would like to just make it more straight, and also not so straight, but a little bit curved outward. Yeah. And then I will push the ears a bit back, a bit in, with a big move brush. I'm pushing them. Now let's see the front view again. Yeah, I'm looking constantly, and you see, this is not completely, going. This is not flat. From this corner to here, it's not flat. It has one kind of a line in here, which is like this. we could make it. But I'm not sure. Yeah, we're making it. I already did it, so. This line, and then I will make the chin a little bit flatter. And then this a little bit flatter. Since those are planes of the head, I'm making flatter things and we are fine. How can we make the base of the nose? I can make it like this and then like this. I think this will be the best representation of the base of the nose. And of course here I have to flatten a little bit because it was too wide. I can flatten it. I think it's kind of looking okay. Although I squeezed this too much, I will increase the size of it a little bit. And then I will squeeze it a little bit, not too much, above the nostril. And it should work. Definitely should work. Here, of course, as I told you, above the nostrils, we should be very careful not to push too much. We should be very, very careful there. Very careful. And he is a little bit sad. Maybe we can make him a little bit brighter, like this. You know, he's a little bit, tiny bit brighter. He looks more like bright future up ahead and stuff like this. It's not super, it's an exercise, but even that in exercise, we can make him a bit like, you know, bright future, everything is cool. You know, summer will come because now is winter. In my, when I'm recording this, it's kind of the beginning of the winter. So it's a little bit depressive and everything, but you know, summer will come, we'll go to the seaside, everything will be okay. Now I'm trying to make the planes of the eyes in here, of the eyelash, of the eyelids. There are a lot of things, you know, eyelashes, eyelids, eyebrows, something, a lot of eye things. And I'm sometimes confused since English obviously is not my mother tongue. It's not the tongue of my mother. It's not the tongue of my father also. Either. So yeah, not a tongue at all, maybe. I'm just trying to achieve some result in here if I can. Something that from the side view will look more manly. But obviously it will not be happening, so whatever. It's fine. But the guy has done a very good job with this 3D model, I think. Yeah, he has probably spent a little bit more than 43 minutes into it. Maybe some hours. Which means that probably you should spend a little bit more time. I'm not spending that much time because I already talked about maybe all of the things that I should talk about. Here, by the way, around the ear side, I would suggest for you to make it a little bit more, you know, the jaw is ending here, yes, but then you have some other things and they are ending a little bit behind the ear. So this could be a little bit longer. Ending of the jaw, a little bit behind the ear it could end. And most of the time it's not that sharp ending, but still we have some, you know, planes that we have to do here, and that's why there are sharp endings in here. It's normal. Okay, we have this jawline. Okay, everything is cool. Sharpening this, sharpening here, sharpening in here. Everything is sharp these days, especially with these planes of the head exercises. They are sharp as hell. No. Sharp as, you know, very sharp. I don't think they should be that sharp, but still, if they are sharp, it's fine. But, again, I'm saying it again, I cannot emphasize this enough. Don't trust everything 100%. Just check your things. Check everything. For example, you're doing this, you say, okay, those planes are fine, and they are pretty fine. Most of the planes here are fine. there is nothing ultra wrong in here. But some things are not completely this way, you know? And checking from multiple sources will give you a little bit more, right information. And of course, multiple sources, the best source are pictures, always. And yourself in the mirror always is a very good source of info about the shapes of the eyes, of the area around the eyes, of the nose, the area around the nose, and all that jazz. It's very important to do so. To look yourself in the mirror and maybe even touch yourself. I always suggest for the people to touch themselves, and they are laughing or some are mad that I'm suggesting that. But you have yourself as a best source of anatomy you have. Why don't you use it? Use this source. It's yourself. It's a very good source. Okay, Asaro head is kind of done. I did it a little bit more different than the real Asaro head, and maybe my head could be a bit smaller top of the head because it's a male. Yeah, I think now it's more like a male. The female will have more like this and bigger head like this. Yeah, but the male, no, the male is aerodynamical. He's runner. He's the best. Okay, this will be for now for this lesson or video, and in the next one we probably should try to do some of those exercises. So definitely we will do this one at some point. This one we can try to replicate a little bit, just the main forms. We will not be able to make the whole thing, and we shouldn't. Also here you see those lines, the cheekbones, and then the muscles between the cheekbone and the mouth, that are the rope muscles here, and then those kind of very huge things around the mouth in here for the young people. They are a little bit too much in here, but it's cool. Also, this guy has them, those kind of bumps around the mouth. They are fat pads and stuff. Here this looks pretty cool. It's very difficult to replicate because we don't see exactly what's happening, but we have. Let's analyze this just very quickly because I like it. This we have, this kind of fat pad we have in here. We have the cheekbone protruding, so we have it. And we have this kind of a area which protrudes also, but we'll see. And here around the mouth, we'll have the mouth, the corner of the mouth. We have the lips, slightly open. And then here we have also this kind of a thickening. Then we have the lower lip. This is flat area here. This is not so flat, this is going in. And then around here what will happen is another question. We might have something here. The nose is a little bit too thin in here. It will be difficult to make it. And also the eyes. No, the eyes are kind of normal eyes. Nothing too much about the eyes. Alright, we'll see. I will choose something about the next time. Bye for now.